Council meeting, January 21st, 2025. Please rise and join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are still trying to work out some of the dynamics for the invocation, so I'm going to go ahead and open us up in prayer. If you don't mind, please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful evening. I just pray that you're with those that are out and about. Keep them warm, provide the warmth for them, and protect them, Lord. I just pray that you're with us this evening, Lord. Allow us to make the decisions that you wish for our community. Open our minds, open our eyes, and allow us to see and hear the way you want us to, Lord. We thank you for all the blessings of this wonderful community, and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Roll call, please.
Mr. Egner?
Here.
Mr. Abrams?
Here.
Mr. Samuels?
Here.
Mr. Akra?
Here.
Mrs. Van Cleve?
Here.
Mrs. Wilson?
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Wilson from tonight's festivities.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Egner?
Yay.
Mr. Abrams?
Yay.
Mr. Samuels?
Yay.
Mr. Akra?
Yay.
Mrs. Van Cleve?
Yay.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yay.
Approve council meeting minutes for January 7th, 2025.
So moved. I'll second.
Mr. Abrams?
Yay.
Mr. Samuels?
Yay.
Mr. Akra?
Yay.
Mrs. Van Cleve?
Yay.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yay.
Mr. Egner?
Yay.
I'm going to convert back to the invocation for a second and just pray blessings over Jerry, and may God's hand be on him and healing. So now we'll go on. We do not have any presentations this evening, so we'll go ahead and move into invited guests and visitors. And our first guest is from the University of Cincinnati Health Stroke Team, so I'd like to invite you to the podium. Good evening.
Hi.
Thank you for coming out on this wonderful chilly evening.
Absolutely. Got a little cold just walking from the car, but it's all good. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Mayor, Council, very nice to meet you all. Thanks for having us. I'm Dr. Chris Richards. I'm the Medical Director of the UC Health Mobile Stroke Unit.
Rita Jenkins, I'm the Director for Air Care Mobile Care.
So Chief Hersong asked us to come and join you all, and I very much appreciate the invitation. So as of last Tuesday, the UC Health now rendezvous with the fire department here in Harrison. The mobile stroke unit has actually been around since August of 2020. We respond out if dispatchers in Hamilton County suspect a stroke is happening to a patient here in the city. What we do is we bring a specialized ambulance that actually has a CAT scan, specialized clot busting medications, paramedics, nurses, EMTs, and CT technologists actually here to the patient's house or community center, et cetera, that essentially provide what happens in the first 45 minutes or so in the emergency department right there at the curbside. And we do this because minutes matter when it comes to stroke. It truly does make a difference. So if you get a diagnosis and treatment even 15 minutes earlier, it can make the difference between someone being discharged to a nursing home versus home, being able to walk independently or not. And so we take that charge very seriously to try to bring that diagnosis, try to bring the treatment as fast as we can in the safest way as we can. We, like I said, have been around since August of 2020. We're only one of 25 or 30 in the world, actually, here in Southwest Ohio. And so we really see ourselves as a community resource. Something that does come up, so what will happen is 911 call goes to Hamilton County. The call taker will suspect stroke. Fire department will get dispatched out along with us as well. We'll meet up on scene if all the stars align. And then we'll talk to a physician from the UC stroke team that's remote down at UC. And then based on the patient's medical home, preference, et cetera, we'll transport them. So this is not, even though we're making the transport, by no means do they need to go to UC Health if a medical home is with TriHealth or Mercy or Christ, et cetera. we just try to match the resources that the patient needs from a stroke perspective to where we're gonna bring them. So we're very happy to go live. We actually got our first dispatch this morning. We actually got disregarded just because of the timing, but we look forward to further collaboration.
We just want to thank you and Chief Hersong for allowing us to help serve your community, particularly around stroke. Like Dr. Richards said, UCG&I and UC Health is very committed to decreasing stroke and the events of stroke in our community here in Southwest Ohio. And this is just one of the many ways that UC Health does that for that patient population. So we look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's absolutely incredible the steps that modern medicine has taken to really cut off the true impact that a stroke can have on an individual. And just to reiterate, what is that time frame where it's most important for a individual to receive treatment?
So really, the bottom line is as soon as possible.
Correct.
We have a time window of 4.5 hours to give that clot-busting medication. There's a minimally invasive procedure that can sometimes be done out to 24 hours. But even within that 4.5 hours and 24 hours, faster is better for those outcomes. And in fact, actually, one very specific spot that we're seeing probably the most benefit from the mobile stroke unit is if we're able to get that clot-busting medication in the first 60 minutes from the time that stroke symptoms started. That is really hard to do, even in the best of functioning fire services and hospital-based services. I mean, it takes a half hour just to get down the road and into the CT scan and these sort of things. That first 60 minutes we're seeing is really critical. We call it the golden hour of stroke. It's a really critical time period where we can really make a difference.
I have a very close family member that had 2 big strokes and now was experiencing multiple mini strokes, I guess.
Yeah.
And the choice to not receive immediate medical attention has changed his life dramatically. How do we overcome some of the stigma with people seeking that assistance?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the American Heart Association, Stroke Association, and I would certainly reiterate is, if you see these symptoms, call 911. We call it the FAST. So face drooping, arm weakness, speech changes. T is for time. So pick up the phone, call 911. Back where I lived somewhere else 10 years ago, we had a community intervention where we did something called a Pact to Act Fast, where it was kind of like this, just kind of social binding between your neighbors to say, you know what, if I see these symptoms in you, I'm going to call 911. I mean, there was no stroke police that came out or anything like that, but I mean, it was kind of like that social bond. The other thing too, which is important, which actually, not to be kind of pointy-headed about it, but some of my research has actually shown that if, whenever you call 911 and you say, I think my loved one is having a stroke, actually using that word stroke goes a long way for the call taker to pick up stroke, which means that the medics are going to be going on scene thinking of stroke. And now for you all, we have the mobile stroke unit going that way. So actually being empowered to say during that 911 call, I think this is a stroke, actually can go a long way as well.
Does that come from Clifton? Is that where it's based at?
So that's a great question. Short answer is no. So we're actually quartered in Springfield Township on Winton Road. So we're very close to the Reagan, close to 275. And that gives us actually a radius in the entire kind of Midwest Hamilton County. And now, especially out here west, we'll be able to make that trip over. Now, even if we're, coming from that distance away, Chief Hersong has been excellent in terms of helping us facilitate some rendezvous locations as well. So it is entirely possible if his crews are suspicious of a severe stroke going on, they'll get on the radio with our crews and then designate a spot that is convenient to everyone that still makes sense for the patient. Because what we don't want to do is, have them wait 15 minutes on scene for us to come and we're delaying this, that, and the other. So at the root of everything, we're keeping the patient in mind, keeping that treatment time window as quick as we can so we can facilitate that treatment.
Well, I do. I appreciate all the work that you all do and the partnership that you have with Chief Hersong. And unfortunately, I see your bird flying out my window at work, which is nice to have, but I prefer not see it flying, because that means something. So, but I appreciate the steps that UC continues to take in our community and our county, and the efforts to really make an impact across the tri-state area. So thank you for coming out tonight. Actually, one more question. Is there a stroke awareness month? What is the,
Yeah, it's,
I was gonna say, I thought it was in October, because we'll make sure we address it appropriately
yeah,
at that
I
time.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Very good.
Come out to functions if you have something for the community, or you can come out and, show the truck off, do some stroke education, that kind of stuff.
We have all kinds of good stuff going on. We'll make sure that we get with you and try to coordinate something.
Been fantastic.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Next, I'd like to invite Kim Sovereign to the podium to give us an update on the recreational improvement.
Good evening. Thank you for having me back. Tonight, as the mayor said, I'm here on behalf of the Recreation Improvement Committee to present a concept we have for the new restrooms.
Yeah, just while she's sorting through, so obviously, we had a discussion and approved splash pad. But I wanna make sure that this keeps moving along. So I asked her to come and present information on the bathrooms, as it's the next logical step to take in this process, and just keep moving this thing forward. So I do appreciate you coming tonight.
Yeah, so in phase one, we had hoped to do the splash pad, which you approved already. Thank you so much. That is moving forward. And so now we're working on renovating the existing restrooms, actually relocating them as well, which I'll show you in a minute. And then we also, after that, we hope to work on the ball fields and the new restroom on the top of the field there as well, and the extension of the walking path. So this is our second project we're hoping to move forward. So what you're seeing now here is for the restroom, this is our concept for our site plan. Currently, the restrooms sit behind the ball field C, which is by, the rec garage. So we want to relocate them closer to the splash pad. And we want to put it, what you're seeing here in this image is the existing shelter. So the new restroom is going to be attached to the existing shelter, and we're going to use the same roof line. It's going to follow the same roof line to give you an idea of placement. And then here's the floor plan for the restroom. As you're looking at it, our current restrooms on the female side, they both have, the female side has 2 stalls and 1 sink, and the male side has a urinal and a restroom. Stall, excuse me, yes, a stall.
If
and
you
1
wanna call
sink.
it that,
Yes,
it's not
yes.
much of that either, so.
So with this new concept, on the male side, we'll have 2 stalls. One is ADA compliant, 3 urinals, and 3 sinks. And then on the female side, 4 stalls. One of them is ADA compliant with 3 sinks. And there's also a changing table in the ADA side of it, in the stalls. And then we also have a family restroom that's also ADA compliant. And the restroom itself is 32 by 20. It will have heat and air. And it is our vision that whoever is responsible for cleaning the restroom will just go in and be able to sanitize it. Right? Hose it down and sanitize it.
Sounds amazing.
Yes. So this is our vision. Estimated cost, we're hoping between $218 and $238, but it's just, we've been working with another contractor gave us an estimated price. So I'm
the goal is to get it to bid and firm up the price. But we wanna make sure that you guys are okay with the design and layout and, what's gonna be available in the structure.
Kim, I just have a quick question. Could this utility back here be used for the splash pad utility?
Possibly,
Okay.
yes. Possibly it could be used for the splash pad. We'd have to talk to DWA about that. Because the mechanicals have to be close to the splash pad, so, yeah, or it could be a nice storage area.
Okay.
Currently, the one we have now is stored, I think it has like the hoses in it and the cleaning supplies, so it will be used, yes. Do you have any questions or concerns about the plan?
No. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to add this as an item to our agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second, roll call. This is to add an item to the agenda. Roll call.
Roll call. Mr. Samuels?
Yay.
Mr. Akra?
Yay.
Mrs. Van Cleve?
Yay.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yay.
Mr. Egner?
Yay.
Mr. Abrams?
Yay.
What item would you like to add?
I would like to make a motion to approve the restroom project and start the bidding for the community center renovations, please.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Judge.
This is for the restroom rental, right?
Correct, just the restrooms.
I do have a question. How is the cost of this going to be covered? Is this,
So at this point in the conversation right now, I know there has been discussions with Harrison Township about potentially paying for the project or for a portion of the project. My goal is just to keep this thing moving along. Whether there's contributions for it or not, we need to keep the bus moving forward.
Okay.
So at this point, not having all the information from other sources, it'll come from our recreational improvement funds.
okay, so if we're going through the process to approve this, this is not approving funding for this, because we don't,
We're just approving to set it out for bid.
To get
no.
bids.
The
So-
motion was to put it
Set
to
it
for
out for
bid,
bid.
yeah.
okay.
Correct.
All right.
So I don't think we need a motion to approve to get them to go to bid. If you're gonna approve up to $238,000, you can proceed with that, but I don't think we need a motion to approve for her to go ahead and submit for a bid request. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're just wanting her to move forward with the bid request, we can strike the motions
Okay,
and we can go ahead and proceed and get the bid requests, notices put out and everything.
okay,
Yes,
you're all set
yeah,
then.
so we'll start with that, we'll bid it out for 3 weeks. And then we'll figure out the monies part. We have plenty of the ODNR money left
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
so we're just gonna move forward with the project, and as the mayor said, if we get contributions to assist with it, that's great. If not, we still have funding to cover
Okay.
this project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just curious because I know we don't have any money with this project, we don't have appropriated, it was kinda coming before council. I just wanted to clarify to make sure.
Yes,
what we're-
absolutely. No, I'm glad you asked the questions, so.
Perfect.
And I appreciate, there's a couple individuals that have sat on the committee, Sonny Ross and Mr. Rell, here this evening. There's been a lot of time dedicated. There's been a good partnership with Harrison Township around the discussion. From my perspective, as I communicated to the committee, is I just need to keep it moving. We have to be able to, one, expend this money, and then we also have to allow time for the next application for the next round of funds. So I don't wanna get bogged down in looking at 48 versions of a bathroom. As long as the community can go in there, it's clean, it's accessible from ADA standards, and it's a whole heck of a lot better than the structure that we have out there. That's a bonus to me. So let's build it. Let's not overthink a bathroom,
Okay.
Great, thank you.
so. Very good. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you taking the time to come tonight.
Thank you, Kim.
We still have no business? Okay, we have no items in our business session this evening, so we'll go ahead and move into reports. I think our community is absolutely incredible, and obviously during times where we have excessive snow and extreme cold, we have a very passionate and compassionate community as well. Just like to make an announcement in regards to the community center as a warming location. The community center is open Monday through Friday. If anybody in our community, not just in the city of Harrison, if anybody in the general area needs a place to warm up, please feel free to stop by the community center. It's set to 68, 70 degrees, something like that in here. So you'll be more, I'm sorry? Only when Doug's not here. It might be like 61 degrees when Doug's here. But please feel free to stop by and take some time to warm up. If it is after hours, if it's after 5 o'clock, please call me. If you need a place to warm up, I will be here to open up the community center to let you in warm up. We did have one visitor stop by and see us on 2 different days. Chief Hersong was down here for me one evening, then I was here another evening. We did have one individual, and I know there's a lot of concern around the homeless. So I'll speak to that a little bit. I had the building open for the homeless, and they are more than welcome to come here. They are. They're more than welcome to come here to warm up. This is not a full-service shelter. It does not have food. Obviously, we do have restrooms available and everything like that, but it is purely for a warming location through the night hours. If you know somebody that needs, if it's a homeless individual that doesn't have a cell phone, please feel free to call for them. I'm more than willing to come down and open the building up and make sure that they're taken care of. My cell phone number is 513-859-0830. It's on our city webpage. If you search me, you can find my city cell phone. Feel free to call me direct, and I'll make sure that I come down and get the building open. On multiple evenings, we sat here and had no visitors, so that's why I'm saying feel free to call me. I do have stuff, and I do have family, and I do have work that I have to try to balance in there. So, but I'm not gonna turn anybody away if they need a place to warm up. So please feel free to call me. I do wanna take a second. I hate to transition to this, but I do wanna take a second and congratulate the Ohio State University Buckeyes on their national championship win. Go Bucks. As an Ohio State alum and a proud supporter of the Buckeyes, I feel the need to congratulate them on that win. So, Ryan Samuels actually sent me a message the other day. Money Inc., local magazine, local national magazine, actually just recognized the city of Harrison as the number 28 top community in the state of Ohio to live in because of our charm, because of our amenities, because of just the homey feel that we have here in our community. I think that's big. We've worked hard, not only this council, but councils before have worked hard on trying to bring the amenities that our community looks for. That's why we're working on the rec improvement plan. That's why we have great community members and a partnership with the township to continue to bring those things that you seek in the community that you live, work, and play in. So just wanted to point that out real quick. We have extended an offer to fill the Public Works Director role. We're waiting on a couple last details before I announce the actual individual. Just finishing up some paperwork and everything. But we hope to have him here on February 3rd, and then he can take all the phone calls that I currently take and work on recreational improvement plans and everything else. So, but very excited about that. It has been a year-long process, and he is, I believe, an excellent individual that will fit in great in our community. The last item that I wanted to touch on, this past spring, we had a group of individuals in our community filming a movie. And it aired last Friday. It's on Lifetime Movie Network, and it's called The Lies We Bury. I encourage everybody to take some time to watch the movie. Obviously, the more views, the better it is, and hopefully they come back for future film making. So, but I do want to thank Lindsay Hartley, Josh Moss, and Demetrius. I'm just going to call him Demetrius because I butcher his name every time. But they were a great crew to work with. Had a very good open communication with them, and I think they really portrayed Harrison in a great light. Really looked good. But it was filmed all in this area. There are some sites from Brookville, but it's downtown Harrison, Village Pharmacy, Market Street, the 1860 building, down Willie Road and Stricker's Grove. So, but the whole movie was filmed in this area, and it was very exciting. So, to be able to have that opportunity, to have that crew come here, and hopefully potential future opportunities would be big for our community. And as community members, you might be able to get in the movie. So you'll see some of our police officers, and actually I have about 13 seconds of fame in there. So that's the last item that I had. Mr. Law Director, sir. Very good. Mr. Egner.
I do. Thank you, Mayor. The first thing I want to say is Jerry's in our thoughts, Gene. I'm really praying that he does all right. I had we had the fire committee meeting tonight. We got the annual report and the monthly report. If you want to take a look at the annual report, it is on the website. Those guys and gals made 3,200 runs in 2024.
And that was approximately how much of an increase from the year prior? 4%, I believe?
I thought it said 5.
5%?
Yeah, 5%. That's a total incident in fire EMS, 5% increase from last year. Based on the tracker here, it looks like it's one of the higher percentage-wise jumps. But you know they do a great job, and I can't say enough about those guys and gals. So if you see them out while you're running around, you know, shake their hand, tell them they do a good job. We got also the med account, billing, and fire recovery are in here. The fire chief and I believe Matt was there. They met with Structure Point to plan to get a proposal for a new firehouse. The chief also discussed the mobile stroke unit, which you guys saw the presentation, and we have one full-time fireman moving on to the Cincinnati Fire Department, and we have one retirement. But other than that, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Abrams?
Mayor, I feel like Ryan Samuels tonight because he's usually long-winded, and I have a lot to report on. But I will also say what Tony said. You know, we all wish Jerry a quick recovery. You know, I miss talking to him, so our prayers are with him if he passes along. I'm going to report on a couple committees tonight that I usually don't report on, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. So the Civil Defense and Public Safety met, and all last year we have been going through the emergency operations plan, the basic plan for the city of Harrison. All council members and the mayor, we received this, and we've been going through it, last year, and, basically, we're gonna review it, and it needs to be approved. And the Chief Hersong and, Chief Lindsay put that together for us, so all last year, we've been going through it, so just to bring everybody up to date with that. So we'll review it and approve it here in the next month or two. We had a law committee meeting. We had some discussions prior. We couldn't figure out, when prior, whether it was a month ago or 2 months ago, about, food trucks. And basically, we're gonna be looking into the food trucks, if they're gonna be allowed to be here on the public streets or on private property, and that's gonna be looked at, during the zoning review, so, the best thing I can say is we're just gonna have to wait in reference to the decision on if we're gonna have, the food trucks, downtown or out in the suburbs, so.
Yeah, and just on that topic, while they won't be everyday occurrences, if there is an event that is taking place at your business, at your church, or wherever, you can apply for a permit for a food truck to come and attend that event. So it's not excluding food trucks from absolutely everything, but there are specific circumstances. If you have questions around that, please feel free to call the Building and Zoning Department.
Yes, and this was also brought up in the law committee, with basically what was presented to us is a possibility of golf carts being, operated on Harrison Avenue. So that's gonna be looked into, and basically, a traffic count's gonna be done, and then we'll go from there. There was some, different safety issues that were brought up, with that. So we'll look into that and see how that pans out for us. We did have a police committee, and I'll go over some statistics. So the monthly traffic crash report for December, there were 21 public roadway accidents and 3 private property accidents, with a total of 24 accidents. Our current staffing level is 23 sworn officers available for duty. As like with every year, the Ohio Attorney General has set the 2025 CPT requirements at 24 hours, which each officer will have to accomplish. The review of the 2025 shift assignments were put out, and if anyone has been past the police department, they will notice that there are a few dead trees that are gonna be removed, and the chief's gonna meet with the tree board here to discuss that. One last thing, JTM and the Kiwanis Club have basically funded through donations to put up another flock camera, and that location will be determined at a later date. I did have one other thing written down, and it had to do with what the mayor said about his Lifetime movie and his 13 minutes of fame.
13
13 seconds.
I couldn't remember 3 lines,
But he
let
took
alone.
it, he totally took everything that I was gonna say about it, but, like you said, there was some people and the chief was involved, and it was a good thing, and like he said, anytime you can shed some good light on the city of Harrison, it's always great. So, I'm not a Lifetime watcher, but I will be watching this to see how everyone does. So, if you're not a Lifetime watcher,
I watched it.
did you? Well, you're probably in it.
You can see the top of my head, but that's it.
Well, I'll be watching for you.
I believe
so-
it airs again Sunday.
Okay, there you go, Sunday. So that's all I got, but like I said, when it makes Harrison look good, that's a fantastic thing.
Absolutely. Mr. Samuels?
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have no updates from committees. We do have a finance committee that will be meeting next week, back on our normal Tuesday schedule at 4:30. We don't have a final agenda yet, but I know some of the topics we'll be discussing is related to the year end, for 2024. We're also gonna talk about some staffing issues and, to Tony's point, staffing, within the fire department, so that will be one of our topics. and I'm sure there will be a couple other things that will be on the agenda for that meeting. So that will be January 28th at 4:30. Also, I'd like to echo everyone's sentiments towards Jerry, so we do wish him a quick recovery. And hopefully he'll be back at council sooner rather than later. So that's actually all I have for tonight, and I will give a more extensive update at the next meeting.
I have no doubt. Thank you, sir. Mr. Aker.
Yeah, I have a couple things. I'd like to commend the Recreation Commission. I went to their meeting, and when we first got the first budget analysis, it had over $625,000 designated towards restrooms, and I was pleased that they went out, sought their own architect out, and whittled that down to the low 200,000 range, which was good to see that they thought this was as over the top as I did. One thing I've learned while talking to Recreation, some of them have the same distaste for speed of government as I do. And I think that's something we agreed on, but I also think there's a big disconnect in the way things go from committee to council and then are implemented. And I would almost bet it's probably all committees that of volunteers, and maybe we could establish something to communicate better with our committees so they know why they're doing and why what we're doing. And I think that would probably help everyone in the long run and give our volunteers some idea of why it takes 15 years to draw up a weekly calendar. On another note, a planning commission met, and it was just an organizational meeting, and Tammy Knock was elected as chair of planning commission this year, and Andy Graff was elected as vice chair. And that's all I have for this evening.
Very good. Mrs. Van Cleek?
In regards to what Doug said about trees being replaced at the police station, I have already talked to my tree board, and we have that slated to replace those 3 trees in the fall when we do our planting. So they'll be removed, and then we will put 3 beautiful new trees in there for him in 2025. So that has been taken care of, and that is all I have, Mayor.
Very good. Great work.
Thanks.
That took like 24 hours. Have 2 trees ready to go in the ground.
Yep.
See, not everything takes forever.
Just give it to me.
Miss Jean?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to report on the Veterans Committee. This past Friday, I was interviewed by Hamilton County Judge Wagner for the Veteran Service Commission that I currently serve on. My term was up. There was 7 applicants, and I did receive word today that I am going to be reappointed for another 5 years. So I was very happy on that note because I love serving the veterans everywhere, but especially in Hamilton County. This past weekend, the Department of Ohio American Legion held their midwinter conference, and our own Harrison firefighter Derek Hammond was honored as the Department of Ohio American Legion Firefighter of the Year. So that's a very prestigious award, and I think we should be very honored that one of our own received it. And I was going to be there to celebrate that, but unfortunately was unable to attend. As mentioned before, Jerry has suffered a setback. He developed a very severe infection on his brain due to his prior surgery. He really needs good thoughts and prayers right now. He's struggling very much. I know he's in good hands. He's at UC Hospital. And every day I pray, when I go to bed at night, Every day I pray, every night I pray that tomorrow's gonna be the day that that things turn around. But I have every confidence in the doctors at UC and his team that he's gonna get better and that he's gonna be back to us. Ornery self, that's right, Patty.
Yeah.
That's right. But anyways, thank you everyone for your thoughts and your prayers. We're gonna get through this. We have a great support system in our family and our friends, and we appreciate it. Thanks. That's all I got.
Please do continue your prayers and support of the family. Not just for Gene and Jerry and their family, but all those that are in need throughout our community. That's what makes us close. That's what makes the difference. So please do. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Van Cleve?
Okay.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yay?
Mr. Egner?
Yay.
Mr. Abrams?
Yay.
Mr. Samuels?
Yay.
Mr. Akra?
Yay.
Very good. We stand adjourned. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone, for being here.